The world is about to turn its attention to the 2026 World Cup. With more matches than ever before played across three different countries, this tournament is already shattering records, even as it stirs up its fair share of controversy. In this video, we'll dive into those debates and look at how the 16 host stadiums were upgraded for the big stage. From SoFi Stadium's staggering $5.5 billion price tag to the historic Estadio Azteca hosting for an unprecedented third time. As someone who started playing football at just 3 years old, this is the ultimate crossover for me. So let's dive right in. The World Cup remains the most watched sporting event on the planet, drawing in over 5 billion viewers. But this year's edition is unlike anything we've seen before. The competition itself has expanded, featuring 48 teams instead of the traditional 32. A total of 104 matches spanning 5.5 weeks will make this the longest tournament in World Cup history. The geographical footprint is just as massive. For the first time, 3 nations are co-hosting: the United States, Canada, and Mexico, across 16 different cities. Unlike previous World Cups, all the stadiums are already built. However, many required heavy modifications because they are hosting a sport they weren't originally designed for. For starters, most of these venues are swapping out their standard artificial turf for temporary grass pitches, so I won't repeat that every single time. Another universal shift is the branding. FIFA strictly prohibits corporate stadium names, meaning nearly every venue will be temporarily renamed after its city or region for the duration of the tournament. Let's break down the stadiums by region, starting in the West and moving east. We're kicking things off with a heavy hitter, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. It stands as one of the crown jewels of modern sports infrastructure, not just in the US but worldwide. Holding the title of the most expensive stadium ever constructed, its total cost reached a mind-blowing $5.5 billion. Cutting-edge technology drove that price tag to new heights. For instance, its dual-sided 4K video board stretches 110 meters and weighs nearly 1,000 tons. Another massive investment was SoFi's canopy. Covering the entire 93,000 square meter stadium is a translucent material called ETFE, a high-strength plastic utilized instead of traditional glass. It's incredibly durable and lightweight, making it ideal for spanning massive areas without requiring heavy structural support. While ETFE is used in several modern venues, SoFi features over 300 individual panels, many of which open up for ventilation. Even cooler, these panels are embedded with LEDs, turning the entire roof into a giant projection screen that you can actually see while flying into LAX airport. While this canopy shields fans from rain and cold, the stadium is still technically open air. That setup is perfect for Southern California weather, but it actually worked against the venue for this tournament. In July 2025, FIFA announced it would prioritize fully air-conditioned enclosed stadiums for daytime matches. Despite its state-of-the-art roof, SoFi missed out on the grand prize it wanted, hosting the final, though it did secure 8 matches, including the U.S. men's national team's opening game. To meet FIFA requirements, SoFi also had to solve a spatial puzzle, widening its pitch from an American football width of 48.8 meters to FIFA's mandatory 68 meters. They are pulling this off by removing the permanent concrete risers near the corners and replacing them with retractable bleachers that can be rolled away to clear space. Heading north, let's look at the first of Canada's 2 venues, BC Place in Vancouver. Located right in the city's downtown district, this is an older stadium built back in the early 1980s. It underwent a massive $435 million retrofit in 2011, replacing its original 1983 inflatable roof with a retractable one. At the time, that renovation made it the largest cable-supported retractable roof structure in the world. Even though BC Place hosted the Women's World Cup back in 2015, FIFA demanded further upgrades for 2026. This round of renovations targets the washrooms, locker rooms, and elevators, alongside expanding VIP luxury facilities. These updates are projected to cost around $130 million. Right across the border to the south sits Seattle's Lumen Field. Fun fact about this one: its massive steel roof was intentionally designed to trap crowd noise, making it one of the loudest venues on Earth. The Seattle Seahawks owners specifically wanted to maximize the acoustic home field advantage while keeping an open-air layout. The stadium once set a Guinness World Record by hitting a roaring 137 decibels during an American football game. Though they eventually lost that record to another venue on our list, a few crucial World Cup goals might just push the crowd to break it again. Rounding out the West Coast is Levi's Stadium in California. Located in the heart of Silicon Valley, this venue boasts some incredibly unique features, including a 2,500 square meter green roof that doubles as a functioning farm growing 40 different crops. On top of that, the stadium utilizes nearly 1,200 solar panels and runs on 85% recycled water. To prepare for both the World Cup and the 2026 Super Bowl, the venue received a $200 million facelift, primarily focusing on upgrading its video boards and luxury suites. Before we head toward the Central region, we need to talk about the sheer logistics of this tournament. 3 countries, 4 time zones, 104 matches. This is easily the most complex World Cup ever attempted. The scale is truly transcontinental. The distance between the stadiums in Vancouver and Miami is roughly 4,500 kilometers. Managing this requires an unprecedented amount of team travel, international border crossings for fans, and a massive media infrastructure. More than 5 million domestic and international fans are expected to travel for matches this year. Their transit experience will look completely different from Qatar 2022, where fans could easily visit multiple stadiums in a single day. This time around, getting from A to B requires meticulous travel planning. Furthermore, the U.S. transportation system is heavily car-centric, offering limited public transit directly to the venues. Most of these stadiums sit far outside their respective downtown cores. While 7 of the 11 U.S. stadiums have some form of rail access, several lines still require more than a 10-minute walk to reach the gate. A note on sustainability: FIFA has spoken extensively about its sustainability goals, aiming to hit net zero emissions by 2040. However, looking at the big picture, this sprawling layout is anything but eco-friendly. They may have 14 years left to hit their target, but this tournament proves just how difficult that challenge is going to be. Now let's look at the 6 venues making up the Central region. First up is AT&T Stadium, located just outside of Dallas, Texas. Home to the Dallas Cowboys, a franchise famous for turning sports into massive entertainment spectacles, this $1.15 billion stadium opened in 2009. It features a retractable roof and a massive 49-meter-long HD video board suspended directly over the field. At the time of construction, it was the largest HD TV screen in the world. In fact, it hangs so low that punts occasionally strike the board during American football games, though fortunately that won't be an issue for soccer. Down in Houston, NRG Stadium made history in 2002 as the first American football venue built with a retractable roof, costing $352 million. It uses 2 massive steel panels that slide along a rail system, which can theoretically open or close the venue in just a few minutes. I say theoretically because the roof is almost never actually retracted. However, NRG is undergoing a $55 million upgrade for the Cup to install new video boards and ensure the roof mechanism is fully functional for this summer. Further north in Kansas City sits Arrowhead Stadium. At 54 years old, it is the second oldest venue in this year's tournament. This stadium currently holds the Guinness World Record for the loudest stadium cheer ever recorded, hitting an astonishing 142.2 decibels back in 2014. To accommodate a standard FIFA pitch, crews are removing 3,000 seats from the north sideline. Much like the modifications at SoFi, this involves ripping out concrete seating structures and replacing them with retractable bleachers. They also have to level out the playing field. The turf has always featured a subtle crown, a slight elevation in the center designed to assist with water drainage. The Central region also features 3 massive stadiums in Mexico, headlined by Mexico City's legendary Estadio Azteca. This venue is making history as the first stadium to host three separate World Cups, having previously hosted in 1970 and 1986. Along the way, it has witnessed some of the most iconic moments in football history, from Diego Maradona's Hand of God and goal of the century in '86 to Pelé's crucial 1970 header that secured victory over Italy. Crucially, the stadium's extreme elevation, sitting 2,200 meters above sea level, presents a severe physical challenge for visiting players. The thin air rapidly drains stamina and alters ball physics, causing long shots and free kicks to fly much faster and farther than usual. It's a tangible factor that could provide Mexico a distinct home field advantage during their opening match against South Africa. The latest round of renovations at Azteca cost roughly $80 million, highlighted by the installation of a hybrid pitch to ensure the turf survives heavy use while maintaining FIFA certification. A hybrid field blends natural grass with artificial fibers. Specifically, about 5% synthetic grass leaves are stitched into the natural turf to boost durability. While this is standard practice in the English Premier League, it's a new addition here. The upgrade also introduces updated seating in the upper tiers, alongside completely new lighting and video systems. To honor its storied legacy, Estadio Azteca will host the official opening match of the tournament on June 11th. To the northwest, Estadio Akron in Guadalajara features a design inspired by a dormant volcano. The architectural concept uses grassy earth walls to represent the volcano, the seating bowl as the crater, and a white canopy roof acting as a cloud. It might sound like a creative stretch, but it makes for a visually stunning stadium. Meanwhile, to the northeast, Monterrey's Estadio BBVA stands out with its striking fluid steel design. Opened in 2015, the venue is famous for its steep seating pitch that minimizes the distance between fans and the touchline. On top of the tight matchday atmosphere, the stadium offers an incredible mountain backdrop featuring the iconic Cerro de la Silla. Before we check out the final 6 stadiums, we have to address a critical issue hanging over this tournament: accessibility. Specifically, who can actually afford to attend these matches? The 2026 World Cup is on track to be the single most expensive in history. FIFA has implemented a dynamic pricing strategy that is driving ticket costs to unprecedented heights. It is a massive departure from Qatar 2022, where a ticket to the final could be purchased for around $600. This time around, fans are looking at spending a minimum of $4,000, a staggering 6-fold increase. Football is a sport traditionally rooted in working-class accessibility, but these steep price tags indicate that the pinnacle of the game is moving away from that ethos. Of course, the financial barrier isn't the only hurdle. For a massive international event like this, navigating national borders is just as complicated. Even if a fan can afford a ticket, will they actually be allowed into the country to use it? While authorities introduced a FIFA Pass to help streamline visa application wait times, possessing a match ticket still does not guarantee entry into the United States. This leaves open a major question: will fans from every qualifying nation actually be granted entry to support their teams? Finally, let's look at the venues anchoring the Eastern region. Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which opened in 2017, completely redefined modern stadium architecture. The $1.6 billion venue was the first ever built with a retractable roof that opens in a circular motion, mimicking a camera aperture. This circular design language carries inside to the Halo board, a massive 360-degree LED video screen lining the roof rim. For the World Cup, the stadium's primary modifications involved constructing additional premium luxury seating. Down in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium was originally built back in 1987 for a modest $115 million. To get it ready for a modern World Cup, it obviously required some heavy updates. Fortunately, the venue underwent a massive $500 million overhaul in the 2000s, which took care of the heavy lifting well ahead of time. Further north in Massachusetts is Gillette Stadium. This venue wrapped up a $250 million renovation in 2023, combining overall stadium improvements with specific FIFA mandates. While the field itself was already wide enough for soccer, Crews still had to remove seats in the corners to open up mandatory space for security, media, and tournament personnel. Additional upgrades featured the construction of a new 22-story lighthouse complete with an observation deck, alongside a massive curved video board spanning over 2,000 square meters. Moving across the border, the June 12, 2026 match at Toronto's BMO Field will mark the first time a Men's World Cup match has ever been played on Canadian soil. The country is pulling out all the stops to prepare, launching a $146 million renovation project. The main goal here is a massive temporary capacity increase, scaling the stadium up from 28,180 seats to 45,000. Large steel grandstands are being erected at the currently open north and south ends of the stadium. However, this massive seating arrangement is temporary. It will only stand for the 6 matches Toronto hosts before being completely dismantled. Back in the U.S., we have Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Constructed in 2003, this stadium features a unique asymmetrical seating bowl with steep upper tiers, all engineered to maximize pristine sightlines for fans. Additionally, 3 open corners give spectators clear views of the downtown Philadelphia skyline during the match. We've covered a lot of incredible ground, but there is still one stadium left. Located just outside New York City, MetLife Stadium will host the World Cup final on July 19, 2026. This $1.6 billion megastructure stands as the NFL's largest stadium by capacity. It serves as the home field for 2 separate franchises, the New York Giants and the New York Jets, utilizing a chameleon exterior made of thousands of aluminum louvers that flip colors, glowing blue for Giants games and green for Jets games. MetLife faces the exact same pitch width constraints as other American football stadiums, meaning workers are removing roughly 1,700 seats to accommodate the wider FIFA field. Though situated in New Jersey, the venue features direct rail connectivity right into New York City. That is the official lineup of stadiums we'll be watching this summer. Is anyone in the audience planning to attend a match live? If so, which venue are you heading to? Let me know in the comments below.